this brings us to, the stuff that happened behind the scenes and preparation and whatnot. Starting off, Ian McGregor spent time in NA meetings, prepping Narcotics Anonymous, learning how to cook up heroin using powdered jello, thank God.
Yes.
He also, in prepping to play Renton, debated trying heroin just to see the effects firsthand. However, he wisely decided that was probably not a good idea.
I mean, if it was just a bunch of pot smokers, okay, fair enough. But we're talking heroin here.
Yes, yeah. So, to get the main casting character, Boyle forced all of the cast to watch A Clockwork Orange and The Hustler.
Clockwork Orange at the time was a very, very hard get in the UK. Mm-hmm. After it was released in the cinema back in the 70s, copycat attacks happened.
Right.
Because people missed the point of the movie, I guess.
Yes.
And so Stanley Kubrick said that this was not to be released in the UK ever again, and that was kept until he died in 1999, and it was only then that Clockwork Orange was released in the UK.
Right.
If you've never seen Clockwork Orange, it is a very, very, very weird,
very violent movie. Yes. So,
great movie, but
yeah. And so, Kelly MacDonald invited her family to the set one day for shooting, only to find out it was the day of her sex scene with Ewan McGregor. Oops. Ooh. So, the close-up of McGregor injecting himself in the movie was actually used with a prosthetic arm.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, this one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Bobby Carlyle, in his portrayal of Begbie, is based on Begby's own sexuality. Irvin Welsh has confirmed that Carlyle was absolutely 100% spot on in his portrayal. For it's now come out that Begbie is a closeted gay man who is ashamed of the fact, and his outbursts of violence are from fear of being outed. And in fact, in the sequel, in T2, he has some issues that he can only take care of with little blue pills.
Well, and also with that, when Begbie follows Renton to London, Renton is reading a book about Montgomery Clift, who we talked about
in the R.E.M.
episode, yes, who himself was a closeted gay man. So,
to keep in the theme of the Clockwork Orange, the nightclub that they go to was actually decorated to look like the milk bar out of A Clockwork Orange.
Yes. Johnny Lee Miller is technically not Scottish, but kept his accent all throughout production and only dropped it at the rap party.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. The guy who played was it Brad Dourif. I can never pronounce his name right. Who played Grima Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings did an English accent for that, and only dropped it after the last cut of the reshoots did he drop it. So.
He's also the voice of Chucky.
Yes. Voice of Chucky.
So, but the video for Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, which is directed by Spike Jonze, was inspiration for the opening sequence.
Yes.
So if you can imagine the boys running through and jumping over stuff and whatnot, that's the same hectic energy that was in the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
So, the opening scenes, five-a-side football team is the main cast. We're played against the
Carlton.
Yes, Carlton Athletic Club, who are addiction counselors.
Yes, so
there you go.
They were advisors on the movie and so on and so forth. So they got their cameo in as their team.
And as we discussed earlier, Kelly MacDonald and Shirley Henderson would later star as ghosts in the Harry Potter series. Kelly MacDonald would play the Grey Lady, the ghost of Ravenclaw, and Henderson would play Moaning Myrtle.
Now, this is a weird one because they're proud Scotsmen in this movie. Mm-hmm. But with the exception of Ewan Bremner, they weren't from Edinburgh. And that's the thing about Irvin Welsh. He's very, very proud in his Edinburgh roots. Mm-hmm. As a lot of people who are from certain areas of the world are proud.
Right.
To be from the capital city, you're proud of that.
Right. But most of the film was actually shot in Glasgow simply because of just...
logistics.
Yeah.
And Begbie.
The film has major references to the Beatles. Renton is being chased by the police, which is a reminiscent of the Hard Day's Night scene.
Yep.
While watching the train leave the countryside, the four characters arrange themselves like the band on the Sgt. Pepper cover.
The cast do the Abbey Road walk in London when they're doing the drug deal.
Yes, and Mother Superior is a line of happiness and just a warm gun, which is supposed to be about heroin.
Yes.
So, now if you notice, for somebody who was not a heroin addict, McGregor certainly looked the part. That was because he lost 28 pounds and shaved his head for the role.
Yes.
Renton originally had ginger hair in the novel.
So because Ewan McGregor doesn't have ginger hair, or didn't does he have ginger hair?
Yes, he is
does.
ginger. Yes.
So